Hello from Spiros K, or else Spiroscography, also known as the Reckless FPS Guy of the Outdoor Games Couple. And I'm back to talk about my new hobby, riding games in Godot. And this is my third video on my journey to game making. I think I have explained in the previous videos why I chose Godot over Unity or Unreal. And I'm trying to make games on it to learn the engine in my free time, which is rather limited, but do what I can. And today I don't want to talk about going into the code or how I did stuff, but I want to talk about mistakes I did. So for my third game in Godot, I was thinking what I want to make. I knew what I wanted to study. I wanted to look into making menus, making a UI, because my previous game really didn't have much on it. And I wanted to make a game which I maybe could presumably put out for free in Steam and Android. So I looked around what me and my wife were playing. My wife at the time that I started played a lot of these rogue-like dungeon crawlers, which are inspired a lot by Eye of the Beholder games. I also like the Eye of the Beholder games. We recently played them for the channel, so I was inspired. I remember that I liked them when I was young, even though they had twisted difficulty. And I thought, okay, why not? Let me try my hand at a rogue dungeon crawler game, a roguelike dungeon crawling game. And I went to the assets of ChatGPT, the sample library. I saw that they already had something like that, a rough skeleton for such a game, which I downloaded and built on it. So I knew that I wanted to have completely random dungeons. I didn't want to pre-made any maps. I also knew that I wanted to have a UI with weapons, spells, etc., classes like D&D. And I started with a warrior because I thought this would be the simpler class. I only wanted to have a shield and a melee weapon. And the idea was that, okay, there will be 4 classes, and each class will only have 2 attacks, or whatever you want to call it. It's inspired by the League of Legends system, the Q and the E, or the left mouse button and right mouse button if you want to play with a mouse, or 2 distinct icons on Android that you could tap. So for the warrior, the Q would be a melee weapon, and the E would be a shield, which would be passively used always to reduce damage. There would also be a cleric, which would have a melee weapon and a healing spell instead of a shield. There would be a ranger, which would have a melee weapon with low damage and a ranged weapon with high damage. And there would be a mage, which would have spells, so 2 ranged weapons, or maybe I would have a spell and a heal. I had not decided yet. Maybe he would have a heal, but much less than the cleric. And I started, as I said, with a warrior, because melee weapons are much easier to program than ranged weapons. And I started looking into algorithms for making random dungeons. I found one. I had to fix a small edge case, which oddly enough happened a lot to me, because my issue was that I wanted to put the exit at the final tile, and because of this bug, the final tile many times would happen to be like close, sometimes even in front of you when you started. So I had to fix this edge case. All the code is below in my repository, my half-finished code. And I made some rooms. I made some cells to be used, like these are the cells with the stone torches, as I call them. These are the cells with the regular torches. These have been bought. I don't remember from which site I bought them. These two textures, they're not in the repository because they're bought. For enemies, I opted to use public domain sprites. And I would, you know, like my goal was to finish the game, and when I finish it, I could keep using the public domain sprites if I put it out for free. If I wanted to put, like, if I spend like hundreds of hours and I wanted to get something back, I would make my own sprites somehow, or... But for now it has these public domain sprites, not public domain, one is public domain, the other is Creative Commons by 3. They are made from Joseph Seraph and Tastygraph, and thank them a lot for providing these to the community. They were very helpful to me. So based on these, I made the enemies. I made the system because I wanted the game to be fully automated. So the system that I made was that in each level there would be some enemies at random appearing at the end of every tunnel made. And these enemies would be up to the level's number. So in level 1, you would encounter only level 1 enemies. In level 2, level 1 and level 2 enemies. In level 3, level 1, level 2, 3 enemies, etc. Until level, if I remember well, let me check, yes, 19 or 20 I think, where the boss would appear, would be the Evil Eye boss, because Beholder is copyrighted, I think. And that boss would be very tough to beat. Like every roguelike crawler game, when it's time for the boss, the difficulty would go up the roof. And every time you die, you go back to the beginning. In this version that I have put out, you lose everything instead, except for your stats, which I have not talked about this. I had 4 stats: strength for melee damage, wisdom, that would be for spell damage, eyesight, that would be for range damage, for ranged weapons, and dexterity or agility, this would be for how fast you move. So at the end of every level, you could go in, you will see it in action a little bit. You get a UI and you decide if you want to get the new Q and D weapon that are presented to you, because there are new ones generated in every level, and which one of the stats you want to upgrade by 1. So when you die, these upgrades remain. These are the only things that remain at this version. Initially, you would also keep the weapons, but I found that this made the game exceedingly easy. So I thought, like, let them only keep the stats. So everything was going along just fine. I had my design documents, which were on paper, because I still prefer to design on paper. It helped me think better. I guess because I grew up with it. So I had my design documents on paper with my UI interface and stuff. I had to make some changes along the way. For example, I wanted to have an item system with health and mana potions that would be dropped by enemies at random. Although I created this, and there are still some bits left in the code for maybe future, like development. At the end, I decided to not put it in priority. I wanted first to put priority completing everything with the warrior, and then move on to the other 3 classes, and finally get the inventory system with the potions, which would be very easy to implement since I had made the base code. All the functions needed would be there, not much to do. So what went wrong? And this is what this video is all about. What went wrong is that I got tired of it. And this is the biggest lesson that I got from this endeavor. If you want to make something all alone, it must be something that you absolutely love playing, because you will play it a lot, And if you don't like it that much, you will not endure like I didn't. I mean, I must have played this game since I first started the first prototype over 400 times. Because every time I want to check, I want to find a bug, I wanted to see the balancing of what I had done. So rebooting, playing. After 400 times, I got tired, to be honest. I mean, even though I like these games, I don't like them so much to play them so much. For my first game, for example, the Doom Survivors that I had made, because I love Doom and I like these kind of games, I play them on my mobile. It was, no, I mean, I must have played this over 700 times or 800, but it didn't, I never got tired of it. At some point I understood that this game got me very tired, and then I thought, oh my god, now I will finish the warrior, I need to play like 30, 40, 50 times to balance it, and then I have to do the same for the mage and the ranger and the cleric, and all this. Yeah, it didn't work out. So I know there are people who can take the punishment. I know that if I intended to sell this game for like 4 or 5 euros, or I might take it with the goal that I would make money, so I would take the punishment like I'm taking it at my job. But yeah, no. So don't make the same mistake. If you don't have people to assist you or test your game, and anyway, I don't think that anyone would give a half-finished game to test to anyone. I mean, even if I had people, I would give it out to them after the warrior class at least was complete, to get feedback and balancing and stuff. I mean, the first stuff, you have to do it on your own, I believe. Or have someone from your team, if you have a team too, that will do this for you. Anyway, I have removed from the source code, as I said, the things that I bought. The things that are free are in there with a reference in the README, in the game, in the license file, not in the license file, in the text file. And you can play with it. Maybe you can be inspired by it. Maybe someone wants to contribute to it and finish it. I don't know. To be honest, I will now go to a completely different kind of game, but a game that I want to play a lot, again and again and again. Most probably I will be using AI art for that, and also for this game. I mean, what you see here, the floor and the walls are AI created, because there are no funds right now for any kind of artist. So it's either that, or maybe, I don't know, I cannot even draw stickmen, so I don't know what I could do for art. Maybe wireframe, like the Ultima 1 and 2. That would be the only thing that I could make myself. And yeah, that's it for now. That's my advice, that's my lesson learned. See you, I don't know, whenever I have some more news about any game that I'm making or any mistakes that I make. Happy creating. Bye. Hello, it's Spiros from the future here, at least from the future of the previous Spiros. I realized while I was editing the video that I never got to show you the actual game in action, so here goes now. I will run it from Godot. So it's this, it's fixed window for now. And starting up, so this is the UI, you can see here, it's the life bar of our hero, this is the HP, and it goes red as they decrease. Here are our actions, we can use them with the Q and D button or with the left and right mouse button. And here is the previous inventory. This used to be the 8 inventory slots, but I reworked it to be where you see your 4 stats. Before that, the 4 stats were here on the left. So it was right weapons, left stats, up inventory, down the text box, right useful stuff. Also, you'll see when you attack, you have a, a freeze period during which you cannot do anything. So these are the goblins. They're the first enemy. You go down with 1 or 2 hits. So this is the mid-level menu. So apparently the way to make it is to freeze in Godot the whole tree and set this dialog to unfreeze only. So it is unfrozen when everything is frozen. It's a very weird concept, but I guess it works with how the hierarchy, the game tree is structured. I don't know, it's not how I would do it. I don't know if all the other engines do it the same way. I would just put different process trees and pause some, unpause some anyway. Maybe you can do this too. I'm still learning Godot. So here you choose either the new weapon, which gives you the new stats versus the old stats. You see it has modifiers, everything is higher. These are randomly generated, it's completely random game, but they have a floor so that every level the weapon will be a little bit better than the weapon in the previous level. Same with the shield. You cannot see it in this shield, but usually it is. And here is what you can upgrade. We see the warrior doesn't have much wisdom and eyesight, and he doesn't need it because he doesn't cast spell, and he doesn't, if you upgrade these stats it will be for nothing, but you need dexterity to move faster and strength to strike faster, so we'll go for strength. So we have, with shift you go back, just with back you turn around. I wanted to implement a shift and right and shift and left that you will strafe, but I didn't do that yet. It's very easy to implement actually. And also, I don't remember if I left this in the code, but at some point for sure, I think I did, when you level up, you go to the next level, you heal a little bit. Let me see now the bar. So these are the skeletons, they strike more and faster. This is a goblin. Yes, you heal, still in the code, you heal a little bit. So that is not impossible, so I will upgrade my strength again. So the dexterity doesn't only affect how much it pauses between each move of your character, but it also affects your evasion. So if you check here, the text box, let's go away. So the enemy won't come because each enemy has a specific range. I'm talking about mechanics again anyway. A specific range that they can see in squares, so he cannot see us right now, or it, or she, or they, them, doesn't matter. You see here it says skeleton attacks for 2 damage. This is also random, each enemy has a range of damage. So he attacks for 2, but we received 1 after our defense. The defense takes into account both your shield and your evasion. So let's see. Oh, I attacked before it was time. Yeah, I left and right button work. Come on, yep. Stronger sword, stronger strength. So, yeah, yes, the point is that you would have to go in and out of enemies in order to survive of their range. Like go fast, back. You cannot survive just by attacking unless you have stacked up on your stats. I now attack for 23 damage. At the beginning of the game it was just like 4. Oh, the spider is a new enemy. Okay, still alive, but not for long. Let's get the shield now. You see this shield has much better stats. These stats, the lower the better, because they multiply the damage of the enemy. So let's get the shield this time. This is a barbarian, the new enemy for this level. Oh, it's here. And we're dead. No, not yet. Come on. Yeah, I get... Oh! Left, right. Oh, oh, there are enemies everywhere. I'm surrounded. That's not AI. The AI is very dumb. They actually just come towards you. Let's get more shield. We need... lose less health per hit. Oh, this is the new enemy. So this enemy has a ranged attack, yeah. This is how the ranged attack looks right now. The spellcaster. So, if you see now the text box down, it says the player has evaded the hit. This means that we got a good enough evasion score. And also now it starts becoming a real labyrinth, because every level that you go up, the labyrinth becomes more and more complex because more paths are added. Oh, the barbarian. He has a very strong melee attack and very big defense. So yeah, it's not balanced. With these shields that I got, now we don't even get hit by lower enemies. You see? After defense 0. Oh, after defense 0, yeah, they cannot even touch us. And I attack for 54 damage already. This is a very exponential damage. I should, scale down the weapons. So anyway, I think if we reach level 20, now I'm sure if we reach level 20, I have never reached it, but if we reach it, it will crash, because it will try to find the enemy on the 20th slot, but there's none. So 20, it would be the handcrafted boss level, the only non-random one, where you would face the beholder after you die a lot of times. So anyway, this is it. So that someone is attacking me, but yeah, they don't do much damage yet. So the enemies are designed like you would be in a board game. So they have a round base and like this cardboard on top of it. I'm pretty proud of this idea, actually. I like it. This is the gnome mage, the other new enemy. So now somewhere in here is the exit. In my plans for the future, this is the beginning. Oh, I'm back at the beginning. Okay. Would be to have like a minimap on the left, like it would show you only your 8 actually with yours. 8 squares adjacent to yours only. Anyway, yeah, I don't think it would be a bad game to spend your time if properly balanced, but right now it's very easy to take advantage of the poor balance. I think it's the right. Yeah, let's my dexterity, and let's actually find an enemy that we can lose so that I can show also. Yeah, the spell damage on these, it should be much higher. This is bad balance. They should do like 30 balance normally, but 30 damage, but they're not balanced at all. So maybe now that I will get cornered. So each enemy has a slowdown for their attacks, also a freeze, sorry. So this is part of their characteristics in their class. They cannot even touch me. I'm too good for these enemies. I need a stronger enemy. This is also weak. Maybe this. Yeah, maybe he can kill us. So the ranged enemies don't get close to you. There is a whole, like process in the game when an enemy decides what to do. They go like, I will either go close for melee or I will range. And they always prefer range. So that you can not hit. Oh, that's another new enemy. This is the water elemental. This is actually one of my favorite sprites, like well done to the artist. Beautiful sprite. Seems a lot like a Final Fantasy one. And we're almost dead, finally. So, back at the beginning, you'll notice that we have the initial weapon and shield, but we have kept our stats over here at the top. 13 strength, 4 dexterity. With this sword you cannot feel it because it's 1, but with this sword, see, we're doing like 9 damage immediately. Okay, that's it for the game. I don't want to play it again, really. Hope someone can pick it up, and it should always be, out for free if anyone picks it up. Or if I ever finish it, it will be out for free because of all the sprites that I have used, which are free on that condition. And that's really it now. Bye bye.